What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2023 Honda Accord, a brand new generation designed from the ground up. I'm not sure if I can advocate for this car. I know, it's controversial from a guy that drives Accords, has had an Accord in the past as well, made 5 Accord videos. But today I'm going to show you an outside and inside tour and driving impressions and explain the reasons why. Some of you may still like it, and I love that you do, but let me know what you think about this vehicle. Let's get started. Okay, so we'll start with the front. This color, it's called Radiant Red Metallic. Personally, not my favorite. It is an extra $300. In America, these same colors are going to cost you about $450 US, by the way, so quite a bit more over here if you convert that directly. But anyways, you only have about 5 different color options. The only free option is gray over here in Canada. In America, you have a few other free color options as well. I guess the Accord isn't as popular here anymore, and that's why they don't give it the same offerings that the US Accords have. But anyways, I do like the all-new Accord's sleek looking headlights. They are a full LED setup, but there's just something about this front end that doesn't sit right with me. It reminds me of a Ford Fusion, if they ever updated it, you know, if they never killed it off, because of that grille and just maybe the shape of it. I could see this thing being a police car from Ford if you did the right colors. You know, and I'm typically a big fan of Accords, but I'm not too keen of the front end of this new generation. But let's talk about the side now. The side profile is a little better looking in my opinion, but because we have that EX trim, which is the base over here in Canada, in America you still have the LX, we do get those 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels on 225 series tires, which look okay at best. If mid was a pair of rims, it would be what this Accord is wearing. I do prefer the upgraded 19-inch wheels that you get on the upper trims, on the Sport and the Touring trims. I think they fit the wheel wells much better, and the stance, they look more aesthetically pleasing as well, and they're also a little bit wider. Otherwise, I do like the slope back look of the new Accord. Kind of reminds me of the A7, of how it started the trend for every sedan looking a little fastback-ish. But let's move on to the rear. The rear end is probably the best looking angle of this new Accord, in my opinion. Of course, we do have what the highlight is of the rear end, the full LED taillights, especially with that light bar that goes the width of the tailgate. They do look nice and sleek, and I do like the design of it overall. But other than that, you don't have too much going on, because it's also a base trim here in Canada, or the lower trims in America. It doesn't have too much going on. The upper trims will get glossy black finishes, but you don't really have any exhaust that shows. You have fake exhaust trim that shows on upper trims, but for this, you don't have too much going on. But since I'm back here, let me open up this trunk and show you what we have back here. Once open, we do have a traditional Accord trunk. They've always been roomy, and this one is no exception at all. We have almost 17 cubic feet of storage, about 473 liters up here in Canada, if you want to know that measurement. So it hasn't changed much over the years. It is pretty class leading, and but you know, Accords have always had around this number for the cargo enthusiast of you that want to know. Anyways, let's move on to the engine bay. Taking a look underneath the hood, we do have one of the carryover engines, the 1.5 liter turbo VTEC 4-cylinder. It makes 192 horsepower and the same amount of torque as well. Of course, it's only made it to a CVT. Gone is a transmission that we had. That was, of course, for the 2.0 turbo detuned Type R motor. But anyways, only front-wheel drive is available for the Accords. It's always been that way, so I doubt we'll ever get all-wheel drive Accords, at least here. Fuel economy wise, it's definitely really good. 8.1 in the city, 6.4 on the highway. That's about 29 mpg in the city and 36 on the highway. Now the Sport Hybrid and the Touring Hybrid, they do get a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. They make 146 horsepower and 134 pound-feet of torque without the electric motors, but when you factor those in, they make a 204 combined horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. So a little bit better torque number wise, but the horsepower number is still pretty low compared to what we used to have for a second engine option. Those are mated to eCVTs, front wheel drive once again, unreal gas mileage, 5 liters in the city and 5.7 on the highway, which is about 47 mpg in the city and 41 on the highway. That is amazing numbers, especially I mean, it's a hybrid, and Honda hybrids have been very efficient, but I will say I'm gonna miss the 2-liter detuned Type R motor because it definitely had that sporty feel and sporty driving dynamic that you could experience when driving an Accord, and I feel that is something that's missing in this one, but I'll get to that when we're on our driving test. Thank you to Wheaton Honda West of Calgary, Alberta for letting me borrow this all-new 2023 Honda Accord. If you're on the hunt for one of these and you're in the area that I'm in, which is the Calgary area, be sure to visit Wheaton Honda West. They are actually one of the dealers that have the lowest price of the brand new Accord for the EX trim level as well, compared to others in the city. I don't want to name names, but if you're looking for the best deal, Wheaton Honda West is the place to go. Thank you to them for letting me borrow this vehicle. All right, time to jump inside the all-new Accord. Here is the key fob, same as the one that you get in the Honda Civic and the new HR-V and all. That looks nice. It's pretty small, and remote engine start, which is a standard on all the models here in Canada, which is just 3 trims, the EX, the Sport Hybrid, and the Touring Hybrid. So let's step back inside here now. There's sensors behind the door handle like usual for keyless entry, so that's awesome. And let's start off with the door panel. Now what I like is that the door panel switches right here, they're the exact same ones from the previous Accord, which isn't a bad thing. Maybe it's cost cutting, I don't know, maybe it isn't. But the switches are nice. They're nice and clicky, and there's nothing wrong with them. So that's a good thing. The handle feels nice and sturdy. We got some soft touch material over here, even for EX, that's nice. Got some leather looking material over here, but no stitching or anything like that going on. This feels like a hard, a little bit of a soft, but mainly hard texturized plastic material. A lot of no colors on this door panel, that's for sure. And a pretty small door pocket as well. You do have some space for a larger bottle here, but not too much space-wise, you know. But let me step in now. Oh, they make a little nice chime. That's nice. So I'm gonna press my foot on the brakes here and start the car up. I do like the black button. It's actually pretty nice. So, okay. Let's start off with the steering wheel. It's the exact same as all the other Honda models now, introduced in the Civic first, I believe. Nice clicky buttons, so that's nice. It looks pretty nice as well. Nice Honda logo, some empty spot here, black trim. What I don't like about this wheel is that it's polyurethane material, so it's not leather wrapped as you can see. My 2009 Honda Accord LX has the same material for the steering wheel, and I thought they could have improved a little bit. Maybe some synthetic leather would have been nice as well with some stitching, even if that was fake as well. But that's one thing that you have to look out for if you don't like that. But sometimes it doesn't matter, I understand. There's no heated option for this one. Only the upper trims will have that. Now, when you look behind, you have that 10.2-inch digital driver display. What I like about this is that it's accurate when you light up your signals, for example, you touch your brakes, and even when you go to reverse, I think, oh, it doesn't do reverse, but it shows you whenever you accurately are tapping the brakes, so that's pretty cool. This is configurable to a certain sense, but you can't have like your map or anything on here, which you don't have navigation in this trim anyways, but and that is a standard function here across at least the lineups in Canada, which is once again the EX, Sport Hybrid, and Touring Hybrid. I do like the venting kind of setup. It's the same thing that kind of, you know, the Civic introduced with their whole minimalist styling, kind of goes across the width of the interior. It looks nice, and I like how the patterns are different. They're not the same things that you would expect in every Honda, you know. At least they differentiate the trim materials. You would have a heads-up display, but that's only available in the top trim. Now, my gripe with the new Accord is this right here. It's a 7-inch infotainment, basically from the Civic and all the other models as well. It's quick, it works fast enough, for example. It's not laggy, so I like that. But I don't know why this is here, to be honest with you. I think they should have taken the previous Honda Accord's infotainment and put that here as the base one, and then the new 13 or 12.3-inch one they have, that's perfectly fine for upper trims. But this being the base infotainment is not the favorite in my opinion. Here's the backup camera quality. Still kind of grainy. One thing that I'm not sure if Honda will ever improve on. I've been saying it for quite a while now. Could be better, but it's usable, but just could be better in my opinion. The HVAC controls, perfect the way they are. The previous Accord had this like almost basically the exact same setup as well. Nice knobs for your temperature select, your fan speed, nice clicky buttons for your airflow direction, your AC, your heated seat buttons are all here as well. So that's all nice, and it doesn't need to be improved upon, I think, because this has always been great. It's not buried in the infotainment, nothing crazy like that going on. Some nice stitching over here as well, so that looks nice. As I mentioned that you have the heated seat buttons, the Accord is available with ventilated seats as well, but that's only on the upper sport, the hybrid, the touring hybrid trims. So, and that's with perforated leather as well. Otherwise, you do not get it. Below that, you do have a nice little storage space with a couple of USB-Cs over here. The wireless charger is only available in the top trim. And from what I heard, the wireless charger can now do 15 watts of charging, which is definitely great speed. It's not slow like they used to be. The shifter, also that polyurethane kind of material, it's fine, you know, I mean, it does the job. It has a nice kind of solid feel to it. At least it doesn't feel really cheap. Your cup holders, very square. Jimmy doesn't like that they're square. He wants them to be more round, but hey, at least they're, you know, a little tiered and spacious enough. Your econ button, your auto start stop button, off mode, park and brake, and brake hold. There's no toggle switch for your drive mode selector on this trim. It's only on higher trims, which I kind of found odd, to be honest with you. Your center console, this is pretty soft, thankfully. It's not too hard. You can open it up and you have a good amount of space inside with a 12 volt inside as well, and that's fairly deep as well, almost a foot deep, I would say. These seats, they kind of remind me of jeans for some reason. Look at this material. Doesn't that look like denim to you? Because it sure does to me. But, you know, they're overly comfortable. They have a cool design, I guess, the shape of them at least. And yeah, I mean, 8-way power seating for the driver's side is standard across the board on the EX trims and up. And 4-way manual for the passenger seat. And then the Touring Hybrid has a power seat for those of you that care about that. And of course, we have the sunroof, which is standard on the EX and up as well. And, you know, other than that, it just seems like you get a lot of features on the upper end trims, and for how much it's cost, at least here in Canada, which I'll mention later here, it doesn't seem like you get a lot of standard features, but at least on the bright side, your Honda sensing is standard on all the trims on EX and up, at least. Once again, I say that because America has the LX trim, which we don't have here anymore. So I'm not sure if the LX also has Honda sensing as well. But overall, the interior seems like an okay place to be in. I just think they could have done better with the infotainment, because it feels like it has the most base software that you could think of. But anyways, I'm going to adjust my seat where I'm comfortable. Then I'm going to head to the back seat and show you how much room I have. All right, time to move to the back seats, or the second row. Door panel looks basically the exact same. This is hard touch though, so you can see a little bit of cost cutting going on there. With this is kind of similar to the front. It's not the best kind of feeling material. Your heated seat buttons would be here if you got the upper trims, and then a very tiny door pocket, which is kind of common for the back row for a lot of vehicles. So, all right, so one thing the Accord has always been good at is second row space, and this one is no exception. So I'm 6'1", if you didn't know, and the seat is where I would be if I was driving. And so look at how much space I have knee room wise, probably a good, I would say 6 inches. And my feet, lots of space as well, puts them underneath the front seat as well. So a lot of space in that sense. The seat look is the exact same with that black denim look. Your center armrest, Honda second row armrests, sorry, are the cushiest, squishiest things going on, and the cup holders more circular than the front ones, I guess, so that's nice. And headroom wise, I have maybe about an inch. Because of that slant back look, I don't have a whole lot of space, but I'm, you know, definitely comfortable for longer rides with about at least an inch of headroom. Now, there's no connectivity here, no vents. Those are on upper trims, which I was kind of baffled to see, to be honest with you. In a 2023 model year car, and this is not a compact, like pure entry-level car as well, I would have hoped to at least have some second row vents, or maybe even one USB, but that's only available on the upper trims, which I kind of find baffling for some reason. But hey, you know what, that's kind of all I have to show back here, nothing else going on. You have some LED lights here. All the lights are LED, so that's pretty nice. That's a positive, I guess. And yeah, now it's time to go for the drive, so let's get going. All right, now it's time to start the driving impressions. I'm gonna do what I usually do, which is an acceleration test. I have it in sport mode, you know, just a little bit below the, you know, the gear under the D setting, and the shifter here, but it doesn't really have a sport mode. But let's see what we can do though. Let me turn off this on. Okay, there we go. Are you ready? Are you ready, Jimmy? Wow. Okay, so that was okay. Nothing too crazy going on. Now, my biggest gripe with the all-new 2023 Honda Accord is just how weird it looks. I don't know, there's just something about the way it looks to me that seems very odd. It just doesn't seem like a Honda Accord. If you were to take the badges off and park it somewhere and ask people what kind of car that is, you'd probably get some different answers, but a Honda wouldn't be one of them, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Now, those of you that love this car, they think it's beautiful. You know, no need to start no beef with me. I'm just saying, you know, as an Accord owner and enthusiast, and I've driven Accords and had Accords, it looks odd to me for some reason, styling-wise. But okay, aside from the styling, why else do I not like this car? It's not that I don't even like this car. I like this car, it's just I'm not sure if I can advocate that this is the best in the segment now, like it used to be in the previous generations. The previous generations, I think, have always been some of the leading cars. But one of the reasons why I do not like the car is the pricing. It is pretty high, at least here in Canada now, right? So I have some notes for this, I took it. So pricing starts at around $38,000 Canadian for the EX trim. That's quite a bit of money. Considering I've seen some Honda dealers here in Calgary, I'm not going to name them, they've been selling this car for $44,000 Canadian. And for what you get in this car, I do not think is worth $44,000. Even 38 is pushing it, in my opinion, for an EX trim level, because you don't have, I mean, sure, if safety is an important thing to you, which I mean, I guess it should be for everybody, Honda sensing, but honestly, I don't personally use Honda sensing a lot. I don't use adaptive cruise control a lot. I prefer using the cruise control that's not adaptive, like on my Honda Accord. Maybe you just call me an old man like that, but that's around $28,000 USD direct conversion from 38,000 Canadian. So, you know, maybe for Americans, maybe the American viewers, maybe that's not a whole lot for you, right? So that's, you know, that's one thing. Now, the top trim for the Honda Accord here is $46,000 here in Canada for the top trim. That's the Touring Hybrid, which is around $35,000 direct conversion. I'm sure it's going to be closer to $50K with taxes in Canada, and I'm sure it's going to be, I'm not sure if the US pricing is the exact conversion, which I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit more, even in American dollars. So this car is getting pricey. Almost 50 grand for a top trim Accord model in 2023. I never thought I'd say that, you know, because that's a decent amount of money. I just can't. I think if I was in the market for a 2023 Honda Accord, it would be hard for me to justify the cost for even an EX. I think, you know, personally, because I don't like the styling. I think the tech and the features you get for the base lower trims are not what they used to be. And the Accords have always been, you know, great vehicles. But driving dynamics wise, it does drive pretty good. Nothing special. That sportiness feel that I used to have from Accords, I don't feel that anymore when I drive this new Accord. The steering is tight, but a lot of body roll feels when you take your turn sometimes. Acceleration, I mean, you know, I guess you can't expect too much from this, which is fine, but it just feels like a boat sometimes, and it is pretty long as well. Just the overall styling and shaping has gotten pretty long, right? So this truck is in front of me, so I'm gonna go take it easy. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't have a whole lot more to say. I just, out of all the Accords that I've driven, I usually have liked them. The previous gen, the gen before that, and then my gen, even the one before that, you know. But this one, I just, I don't know. There's something about it. I think it's mainly to do with the styling that I just don't like a whole lot for some reason. And you know, if you like it, that's awesome. I'm glad you like the car. Just because I'm just sharing my opinions on this vehicle, and if you like it, I would obviously watch other videos that have differing views, because obviously looks are subjective. And if you like the car, you know, and if you want to test drive it for yourself and make your own opinion and see what you think, do some research on the market. What would I rate this out of 10? I would say this would be around a 6.5, maybe 7 on a good day out of 10 in my books. The previous generation, I would have given definitely higher marks. But this generation, I would say around 6.5. But anyways, I'll leave it with that to keep the video short, hopefully. And I'll catch you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this all new 2023 Honda Accord. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.